Good morning, North Jersey. It's Tuesday, June 23rd, and let's talk about the news. So, big announcements yesterday from the state. Governor Phil Murphy announced the partial return of casinos and indoor dining. Now, on July 2nd, both are coming back, but only at 25% capacity. And as we continue to move into phase 2 of the state's reopening, we had our reporters check out a salon, and they'll be here to chat about their experience on getting their first haircut post-quarantine. So let's dive into this dining news. Our food and dining reporter, Rebecca King, is here to share all the details on next month's indoor dining. Good morning, Rebecca. How are you?
Good morning, Jessie. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. So indoor dining, we've had outdoor dining this week. We've all been out, had our drinks, had our food. Next month, indoor dining, what are the details on that?
Yep, so indoor dining begins on June 2nd. Restaurants will open at 25% capacity. So restaurants are going to be a lot emptier than we remembered. Outdoor dining opened on June 15th, and you're going to see a lot of the same regulations that we had when outdoor dining opened. So tables are spread 6 feet apart. Waiters and waitresses are going to be wearing masks and gloves. There's no communal salt shakers, no communal ketchup bottles. Straws come individually wrapped. You'll have the option to have plastic cutlery. So all those types of things to keep diners safe. We're going to see those inside, just like we saw them outside when outdoor dining opened earlier this month.
Very cool, very exciting. And I mean, there's folks, who are split half and half. They're very excited. They're not too excited about going, or a little bit worried. But what about the owners? What are they looking forward to this return to indoor dining?
Yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Restaurants barely turn a profit when they're open at 100% capacity. So the big thing to know is that restaurants are not going to be making money during this time. There's a huge cost for reopening. Staff needs to be rehired. Plexiglass needs to be installed, masks need to be bought, hand sanitizer needs to be bought. So essentially restaurants are going to lose money only serving 25% of their tables indoors. So don't be surprised if a lot of restaurants don't reopen. A lot of restaurant owners are saying, this just isn't worth it for me. That said, I have spoken to Craig Kunish, who is the immediate past chair of the New Jersey Restaurant and Hospitality Association, and he's also the owner of Mawa Bar and Grill and Allendale Bar and Grill. And he thinks that this is a great step forward. It's about progress, not profits, he said. So this is just one step closer to opening at 100% capacity, and it's more of a gesture moving in the right direction for restaurants. So if I could say one thing, if you do plan to go out and dine out, tip your waiters heavily if you're able to, because they're only going to be serving 25% of the tables.
Absolutely, folks. You heard it. Tip your waiters. Now, before we let you go, Rebecca, this last week it was outdoor dining. I know you were out at different restaurants. Anything in particular that stands out, or any recommendations for folks at home who may want to visit a restaurant?
Sure. I would say for the most part, things are pretty safe. I went to a couple of downtown areas, and a lot of restaurant owners are doing the best that they can, I would say, for the most part. There's a very European vibe with tables set up outside. It's very chill. If the restaurant has a liquor license, they are able to serve you alcohol outside, which is great if you need a cocktail. However, I will say that some towns are not doing the best that they can do. Some restaurant owners just crowds can get out of hand. People aren't wearing masks in certain situations, especially when you go to like younger bars. So just keep that in mind. If you are high risk, if you are worried, if you live with somebody who's high risk, I would say right now isn't the time to try to go back out to dine. People are still offering takeout and pickup, and just keep your eyes out. If you notice that people aren't wearing your masks, maybe avoid that area. But for the most part, restaurants are being really safe, and if you're feeling comfortable, I would encourage you to go out and try outdoor dining or indoor dining on June 2nd or July 2nd.
Or drive there. Absolutely. Rebecca, thank you so much for just breaking all of that down for us. And folks, if you want to see more dining news or look forward to more on details on indoor dining, check out Rebecca's reporting on northjersey.com. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thanks, Jess.
All right, folks. Now, dining isn't the only thing making a comeback. Atlantic City casinos are also making a return. So just in time for 4th of July. Our reporter, Scott Fallon, is here to tell us what you can expect for that holiday weekend. Good morning, Scott. How are you?
Hey, Jesse. Good to be on with you. The casinos are opening up on July 2nd, just like indoor dining, but they might be only for at least a day or two. Friends, families, and high rollers. You have to really check with your casino whether they're open or not. And there's some restrictions. It's only going to be 25% capacity. Remember, these are indoor venues. They're closed confines. They may not have the best air circulation, so they want to make sure that the risk of transmitting COVID-19 is as low as possible. But July 2nd is the day. They wanted to open up for the July 4th weekend. Casinos have been hit extremely hard. Gaming revenue in New Jersey is down by about $400 million compared to what it was last year in March, April, and May. Thousands have been laid off. Atlantic City, the casinos are a huge economic boon for that area, for South Jersey. So Governor Murphy thinks that it's extremely important to have them open.
Well, he thinks it's important now, as we reopen these casinos and folks continue to flock to these areas. What's Murphy and his team doing to ensure everyone's safe?
Well, you're going to have to wear a face mask. That's going to be mandatory. And if you don't wear a face mask, you're going to be escorted out. Murphy was pretty adamant about that on his daily briefing yesterday. He also said that there's going to be health screenings, but he didn't indicate exactly what those are. Now, guidelines will be coming out, he said, in the next few days to give more details about what that means. I can imagine that is probably going to be kind of what Las Vegas has, which is to take a temperature check before entering a casino, either if you're staff or a customer. But beyond that, I don't know. Maybe there's just something additional that customers and staff will have to go through, but that hasn't been determined yet.
Gotcha. So all the details on casinos and kind of the guidelines will be in the coming weeks. We'll hear them from the state in the coming weeks, correct?
Yes, it'll be coming maybe even this week, later this week, and there'll be a lot more details. We don't even know what a casino floor will look like in a pandemic. How far apart will people be? Will it be 6 feet? Will it be more than 6 feet? What games will be open? What games will be closed? What slot machines will be open? What will be closed? That is like the details that hasn't come out yet. Hopefully we'll get them this week to get a better idea of what Atlantic City will look like come July 2nd.
Absolutely. Well, Scott, we'll be watching out for your reporting. And folks, again, more casino news, reach out to northjersey.com and watch for Scott's reporting. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Alrighty, folks. Now, before we wrap up for the day, as we promised, we had our reporters go out to barbershops and salons to get their first haircut post-quarantine. Now, a highlight will be the highlight for many of you this week. So we have on our reporter, Anthony Zarita and Madeline Ference, to tell you guys how their haircut experience was. Good morning, guys. How are you two?
Hey, Jessie.
Alrighty, so let's get right into this. Anthony, we'll start off with you. Tell us all about this haircut. It's looking good. You both look fresh. Tell us more.
Hey, Jessie. Yeah, it was a great day for anyone who didn't live with a barber or hairstylist. So I was excited for that. As expected, everyone has to wear a mask inside the barbershop where I was. The barber's wearing a mask. Customers have to wear a mask. The seats are sanitized between each client. I know I got there a little bit early and I was told to wait outside. So, always try not to get there too early because you're going to have to wait outside. And if it's hot, if it's raining, it's not going to be too fun.
Very cool. Alrighty. So now, Maddie, tell us a little bit about how your haircut experience was. You have longer hair, so it's a little bit more of a thing for women.
Yeah, kind of like Anthony, I had to wear a mask, definitely. I also had to sit in my car before I was allowed in. And when I got there, I had to get my temperature taken. So that was kind of weird. Normally, salons are very bustling. They're social. But when I was in there, there was one other woman getting her hair done. So it was kind of weird. But, you got to do what you got to do to get your hair done. So, sanitize. Each hair station had hand sanitizer and cleaning solutions. So along with, scissors and combs, that's the new normal.
Absolutely, the new normal, and I think that's what everyone's looking forward to. I haven't gotten a haircut yet. My hair is out of control. But if I were to go get a haircut, are there any tips or any advice that you probably would have liked to know before you would have gone? Anthony?
I would just say call ahead and ask what the preferred method of payment is, see what your barbershop or salon is offering. I know some barbershops and salons are using Venmo, the money transfer app instead of cash, or are, suggesting that you use a credit card, kind of just to keep the hand-to-hand transaction of cash, kind of eliminate that as much as they can. Also, like I said before, just don't get there too early. I mean, if you're punctual, that's fine. But, like I said, be prepared to wait outside if you get there too early.
Gotcha. Any tips, Maddie?
Just definitely know what you want before you go. If it's just a haircut or color or something, don't try to be crazy and do something new this time, so they can get you in and out as fast as possible.
Gotcha. Now, you brought that up, Maddie. You said don't do anything crazy. Are salons offering all services, or at least the one that you went to, did they offer all services for women?
Actually, the one that I went to was just doing cuts and color. They normally do like eyelash extensions and waxing and facials, but they're not doing that now. Not like, people are really rushing out to get that done. Most of the people are like, they just want their hair tamed and fresh for the summer.
Gotcha. Absolutely. I want my hair tamed and I want my hair fresh. You both are looking wonderful. And now before we let you go, can you tell us where each of you went?
Yeah, I went to International Barbershop in Hackensack. It's where I've been going for years, and it's good to see that they survived the shutdown and that they're implementing the safety measures that people need.
Awesome.
Yep. And I went to 183 Main in Lincoln Park. The woman who's been doing my hair for years works there, so I had to support her.
Absolutely. Very cool. Well, again, you both look very fresh. I'm very jealous of that post-quarantine haircut. And folks, if you want to know more about all the reopenings, feel free to check out northjersey.com. Thank you both, guys.
Thanks, Jessie.
Alrighty, folks, so the news, it does not stop here. You can head over to northjersey.com, like I said, to check out the latest headlines throughout the day. If you have some news in your area or anything that you want to tell us, feel free to comment below, reach out on Twitter or on Instagram. Now, before I let you go, here's some footage of our dining reporter, Rebecca King, out at Montclair Brewery this past weekend. Now, folks, I'm Jessie Gomez, and thank you so much for watching.
My wife and I was thinking about doing something just to bring everybody together. And, when we were discussing that and then getting ready to prepare to register all this event, we realized a brewery in Texas was doing the same thing. So we ended up making a phone call to ask them, and then they say, well, we'll be happy to join you guys and then come up with this beer. So that's how everything came to be. But we was thinking about making something, doing something in our own way to honor these people and show the rest of the world how connected we are. There's no reason for people to hate each other. We only gain so much if we love one another. Well, the baobab is one of the oldest trees in the world. It takes 100 years to produce fruit. So the reason why I'm adding the baobab into that special beer is to remind everybody where we all come from. So the human being was created in Africa. So everybody can trace the DNA back to the continent. So that's the reason why we're adding that kind of fruit into the beer. So people can get, to go back home for a little bit. 60 pounds of grain that are going into that beer. It's going to be a very strong beer. It's going to be 10% ABV, and we're going to have a lot of sugar, and everything from that beer is local. Everything is local. It come from the East Coast yeast, which is come from Newark. It's one of the oldest yeast that I took to make this beer.